Hi, I'm Nikki from Teaching Autism, and welcome to the Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Are you an autism or special education professional? Are you a teacher or therapist looking for support and new ideas? You may even be a parent, family member, or carer. This podcast is perfect to help you find out more information, support, and get some of your questions answered. Welcome back to another episode on my Teaching Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. This podcast episode today is about a controversial but really important subject, and I'm going to be sharing information with you about why I think you should stop attendance rewards. It's becoming more and more popular in classrooms and schools all around the world to base rewards on attendance, giving students who receive over 95% or even achieving 100% attendance a reward and nobody else. So first, let me talk about the reasons why some classrooms and schools may decide to do this and what the benefits of high attendance are. So first, it really does help the students to get into a consistent schedule. It encourages them to develop relationships with both staff and other students. It gives students the chance to work on their social skills, and more attendance means more work they are taking part in, and they are able to learn basic as well as more informative skills. Those are just a few quick benefits that having high and consistent attendance can have for students. So it's really easy to see why schools and teachers want to encourage this high attendance from students. And we all know that many of our students are highly motivated by rewards. They like to please others, and getting something that motivates them, something that they really want, can be the reward. So why am I telling you to stop doing this? Well, for a few reasons. The first are circumstances. There are a lot of circumstances that are out of our students' control, and this is especially true when it comes to attendance. It's not fair for us to hold our students accountable for something they don't have full control over. Also, choice. Slightly similar to circumstances, but many of our students won't actually get a choice to be able to go to school that day or not. Their family members, parents, and guardians are the ones who are most likely making these decisions. They could have something else planned, they may have booked something, or they may be struggling themselves. Mental health is more important now than ever, and many of our families can be faced with a lot of difficulties like social isolation, financial difficulties, and even difficulty finding resources and access, exhaustion, feelings of confusion, and even just burnt out. All of these can have an effect on whether a student comes to school or not that day. And again, this is something that's totally out of the student's individual control and choice. Another reason is illness. I see a lot of talk on social media, in staff rooms, conferences, at training events, talking about student illness. And a lot of it can stem from education professionals who are frustrated when families send students to school when they are ill. But by basing rewards on attendance, the school and classrooms themselves are the ones pushing students to come to school when they're not feeling well, and this just encourages the spreading of germs and illnesses. A year of being 100% well and without a single illness is pretty impossible these days, and even harder for our students as well. Many of our students may not be interested in the attendance reward, but a lot may feel the pressure of having to achieve it and not wanting to fail. We should not be pressurizing our students to come to school when they are not feeling 100%. Another reason is medical needs. Many of our students are more prone to picking up illnesses, as we know. But on top of that, a lot of our students also have a lot of other medical needs that can play a factor on their attendance records as well. This could be physical medical needs. Maybe they're in pain. They may not be able to take part in certain activities because of their medical needs, or they could but would find it very difficult. So maybe their families decide to keep them home and do something else with them that day. It could be the fact they get a lot of medical appointments that they have to attend. Perhaps they need different treatment options and even operations. These can all have an effect on their attendance at school. Another reason is anxiety. Anxiety is a very real thing in life, and until you experience it yourself or have the experience of a close one going through it, I don't think you'll really understand how much it can affect someone. Anxiety can literally stop you from doing something. And I know that may sound strange. How can it physically stop you doing something? But anxiety works in a way that will literally stop you in your tracks. And with that comes the possibility that anxiety could stop students from going to school. There can be a lot of reasons why anxiety can have an effect on students, stopping them come to school. And as much as I would love to help you out and list them here, one thing I've noticed when experiencing anxiety with someone I love is that there are just too many reasons to list, and they're different for everyone. For this, it's really a case of getting to know your students and building a strong relationship with them and their families. This will allow you to communicate effectively and hopefully be able to better support your student. However, this is another example of why the pressures of an attendance reward can have a negative effect. The anxiety of not wanting to go to school because of something, tied with the anxiety of missing out on an attendance reward, can very quickly become overwhelming. And it may not be the student themselves who have anxiety, it could be their primary caretaker, and that day they just physically can't leave the house. And again, this is something that is out of your student's control. Another reason, and one that is very common in schools these days, is bullying. And I've actually recently recorded a podcast that talks about bullying, and I'll link to that in the show notes as well. Bullying comes in a number of ways, and it can be emotional, physical, or both. And this can make school a very unpleasant and scary experience. It's enough for students to not want to come to school. Forcing a student to come to school to achieve their attendance reward while going through bullying can have a hugely negative effect on a student. And those are just a few reasons why students may not be able to achieve full attendance, meaning they can't get their attendance reward. And as you can see, a lot of these are out of our students' control. Sure, you can still give your students rewards, just don't base them on attendance. Our students have enough pressure every day without an added extra one that really doesn't need to be there. Instead, base rewards on other things. Acts of kindness is a great one and something we all want to encourage. They can be small rewards like being a good friend, sharing, helping someone, and these are all things that our students can control and work on. We love using reward cards. My students love collecting them and putting them on display in their folders, and I'll link the ones that we use in my show notes for you to check out as well. If you have any questions or comments about rewards or maybe about attendance rewards, head over to the show notes, let me know in the comments there. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.